Hi, it's Alan Jones again. Long time no see. I wanted to say a couple things about the BP oil spill, a couple of observations. Some of the things that I hesitate to mention because some people feel as though they're finger pointing, but a lot of what we see now has been set up because some of the more egregious acts of deregulation that took place over the last 20 years, and specifically the last 8 years prior to President Obama's administration, where caps on liability for the oil companies were limited to really a paltry sum compared to the amount of profits they make and the amount of resources they have. And secondly, where they were deregulated regarding safety measures they have to take of having equipment undersea to cap a well in these situations or to prevent these blowouts, which would have been like $500,000 per well, which in Europe and South America are required of them. But this was done apparently by the previous administration to improve their bottom line. Having said that, like I said, I really don't want to get caught up in that because every administration does something, okay? It's just, you know, they serve a different master, but we know who the last administration served, and this is what you get. Okay, now having said that, I did want to mention a long-term solution to this issue, and this goes for not just the oil companies, for the car companies, for the banks, and for everyone. Really, it's a very simple solution. When it comes to executive compensation, delay compensation for 5 years. In other words, for instance, an example would be a VP of a division at a large multinational corporation that's over a certain area. You know, pay them $250,000 here, whatever it might be. But then, rather than restricting by law their compensation, which has been bantered around, I don't necessarily agree with that, but put tax incentives on deferred compensation. In other words, management in America operates quarter to quarter. Management team at BP and other entities, whether they're American or U.S., whatever, if they're paying taxes from the U.S., they could care less about what happens 5 years down the road. So share prices go up, they get more bonus at the end of the quarter. Okay, so if you're managing quarter to quarter, you're going to think short-sighted. You're going to be short-sighted in your thinking and how you operate, and you don't care about tomorrow. Essentially, you don't care anything past 91 days. You don't really care about a whole lot. So, and plus you think about the golden parachutes they get when they leave the companies. That's another issue. Now, if you were to roll things back for 5 years and say, well, you're going to get $250,000 a year up front, but then the majority of your pay will always be a rolling 5-year cycle. That would cause people to look at share price 5 years from now and get them to think longer term. So I think that would be a very good measure to get companies from being short-sighted in their approach. And in the case of the BP oil spill, looking at their shares being cut in half, and anything that might put an executive at risk, he might say, well, I'm going to take shortcuts today, but there's a strong possibility something may come back to haunt me later. I'm not going to do it. Same thing in the mortgage industry. Plenty of people who knew, people pushing the product don't know a whole lot. I'm just telling you, a lot of them necessarily don't know what the mortgage, they just get a product and they're told to sell it, and they don't know the ramifications and the real risk involved in it. But trust me, the people that put some of these products together knew exactly what they were doing, and the executives signed off on this thing. So if they had known or had been had their compensation, the vast majority of it with the and share price related compensation, if that had been pushed out 5 years, trust me, they'd have been a little more cautious about some of the lending practices and some of the things that they did in taking risks with our money. So that's it for today. Hope to make more of these. Been working very, very hard in my other job the last 3 to 4 months, and hopefully that's going to start to calm down a bit, and I'll be able to post a little bit more. Anyway, that's my thought. Love to hear yours. Take care. Also, be sure to check me out on theexaminer.com. I've started writing at the very least, a weekly article. This past week's article was on how to start a business, and I embedded a number of links to help you find the proper paperwork to incorporate. Also, different links to different websites that have very good prices on software and hardware, and also a link that links you to, I guess, open source programs, which are good free alternatives to mainstream programs that people typically buy when they start a business. So that might be helpful. This coming week I intend to write on job searching on the internet and post some links to some various job sites that I've found to be very helpful in my experience as an independent consultant that I thought might be good for you as well if you're looking for a job or think that you may need to in the future. Thanks. Take care, guys.